Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching the news tonight with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Investigative agencies step up action in the two multi-crore bank fraud cases. CBI questions Rotomac owner Vikram Kothari. Enforcement Directorate probes 4 shell companies in the Punjab National Bank fraud case. Central government opposes PIL seeking SIT probe into the case, says an inquiry is underway. Delhi court sends Aam Aadmi Party MLAs Amanatullah Khan and Prakash Jarwal to judicial custody for 2 days on charges of assaulting Delhi Chief Secretary Anshu Prakash. Delhi police submits medical report showing injuries to the bureaucrat. Party leaders refute allegations of manhandling against their MLAs. Interest rates on employees' provident fund cut marginally from 8.65% to 8.55% for 2017-18. Despite the cut, EPF rate is still higher than other existing investment schemes. 5 crore subscribers are to be affected by the decision. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister says MOUs worth 4.28 lakh crore rupees were signed at the UP Investors Summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces Defence Industrial Corridor in Bundelkhand region that is estimated to create 2.5 lakh jobs in the backward region. And India and Bhutan to celebrate Golden Jubilee Year of Diplomatic Relations. Series of programs planned to showcase the special relationship between the two nations. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday announced a 20,000 crore rupees defence corridor for Bundelkhand region in Uttar Pradesh. The Prime Minister inaugurated the 2-day UP Investors Summit, the first such event by the Yogi Adityanath government in Lucknow. The summit aims at showcasing investment opportunities and potential across various sectors in Uttar Pradesh. Here's more.
Inaugurating the UP Investors Summit on Wednesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a defence industrial corridor in the Bundelkhand region. The corridor is expected to bring in investments of 20,000 crore rupees and create 2.5 lakh jobs in one of the most backward regions of Uttar Pradesh.
UP में डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर का विस्तार आगरा, अलीगढ़, लखनऊ, कानपुर, झांसी और चित्रकूट तक पूरा बेल्ट होगा। इस कॉरिडोर में 20,000 करोड़ रुपए के निवेश की संभावना है और ये करीब-करीब 2.5 लाख लोगों के लिए रोजगार के नए अवसर निर्माण करेगा।
Calling the summit the first of its kind in the state, the Prime Minister said Uttar Pradesh has a vast potential. He also announced international airports in Jewar and Kushinagar.
यूपी का पोटेंशियल बहुत है। पोटेंशियल प्लस पॉलिसी प्लस प्लानिंग प्लस परफॉर्मेंस से ही प्रोग्रेस आती है। अब यूपी में सुपर हिट परफॉर्मेंस देने के लिए मुझे विश्वास है कि योगी जी की टीम तैयार है।
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath announced that the state had signed MOUs worth 4.28 lakh crore rupees at the summit. He said the state government is proposing an expressway in Bundelkhand and Purvanchal to boost the industrial corridor.
हमारा लक्ष्य आगामी 3 वर्ष के दौरान उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर 40 लाख रोजगार का सृजन करना है और इस दिशा में प्रदेश के औद्योगिक विकास हेतु राज्य सरकार को नीतिगत रणनीति बनाई जाने हेतु सुझाव देने के लिए हम लोगों ने देश के जाने माने उद्योगपतियों का एक राज्य निवेश प्रोत्साहन बोर्ड भी गठित किया है।
Investment proposals that materialized at the summit included an offer from Mauritius to partner Uttar Pradesh in the tourism sector. Reliance Industries chief Mukesh Ambani pledged an additional 10,000 crore rupees investment, while the Adani Group said it will invest 35,000 crore rupees for the state's development.
Areas of interest and collaboration include religious tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, food processing, sugarcane cluster, financial services and logistics.
On the occasion, the Prime Minister also launched Nivesh Mitra, a single-window digital clearance portal. More than 5,000 delegates are attending the two-day event that is intended to showcase investment opportunities in various sectors in Uttar Pradesh. President Ramnath Kovind will attend the validatory function on Thursday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the CBI today arrested a general manager ranked officer of Punjab National Bank who was posted at the bank's head office in New Delhi in connection with the alleged 11,400 crore rupees fraud case. The accused Rajesh Jindal is presently posted as GM Credit at PNB head office in Delhi. He was the head of the Brady House branch in Mumbai during 2009 to 2011.
Investigating agencies on Wednesday stepped up action in the two major bank fraud cases. While the CBI questioned Rotomac owner Vikram Kothari at its headquarters in Delhi, the Enforcement Directorate conducted surveys at 17 places across the country in the Punjab National Bank fraud case. The surveys included 4 shell companies in Mumbai. Rotomac owner Kothari is under investigation for allegedly defaulting on loans from a consortium of 7 nationalized banks running into 3,695 crore rupees. While billionaire jewelers Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi are evading the law over charges that they allegedly defrauded Punjab National Bank of 11,400 crore rupees. The PNB case came up in the Supreme Court through a PIL that sought an investigation by a special investigation team and deportation of then chief suspect Nirav Modi. The centre opposed the PIL through Attorney General K.K. Venugopal, stating that an inquiry is already underway in the case. A bench comprising Chief Justice Deepak Mishra and Justices A.M. Khanvilkar and D.Y. Chandrachud listed the PIL for further hearing on March 16th. Rotomac owner Kothari and others had allegedly taken loans from Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Indian Overseas Bank, Union Bank of India, Allahabad Bank and Oriental Bank of Commerce. Bank of Baroda made a complaint fearing that Kothari might leave the country. Initial investigations estimated the fraud to be worth 800 crores, but it was revealed by bank loans worth 2,919 crore had been siphoned off. Total outstanding amount along with interest for company is pegged at 3,695 crore rupees. The Income Tax Department has already attached 14 bank accounts of the pen manufacturer as part of its tax evasion probe. In the PNB fraud case, Enforcement Directorate has so far seized diamonds, gold jewellery and other precious stones worth 5,726 crore rupees. ED officials are talking to senior PNB officials and recording their versions to ascertain how letters of understanding were issued and other bank operations done. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, another big news now. A Delhi court on Wednesday sent the 2 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs accused of manhandling Delhi Chief Secretary Anshu Prakash to judicial custody till Thursday. However, the party has denied any wrongdoing and said that the allegation levelled by the Delhi Chief Secretary is baseless.
A Delhi court on Wednesday sent 2 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs to judicial custody till Thursday for allegedly manhandling Delhi Chief Secretary Anshu Prakash. The court dismissed the Delhi police application seeking their custody, even as the police submitted a medical report showing that the Delhi Chief Secretary had been allegedly assaulted. The report said there were cut marks and swelling on Prakash's face. The AAP refuted the charge of manhandling.
ये एक सुनियोजित साजिश के तहत प्लान करके दिल्ली सरकार को लगातार बदनाम करने की और उसके खिलाफ दंडात्मक सख्त कार्रवाई, सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई की जो एक पहल पहले दिन से चल रही है, वो लगातार जारी है और कुल मिलाकर इनका मकसद है इस सरकार का अंत करना.
Earlier, both the BJP and Congress delegations met Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal separately, demanding a probe into the alleged assault. They also sought an apology from Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal.
ये जो स्थिति है ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल क्राइसिस है और इसमें बहुत तेजी से कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए. अगर ये सारी चीज़ें ऐसी ही है तो फिर इस सरकार को बर्खास्त करना चाहिए।
सीनियर मोस्ट ऑफिसर की अगर पिटाई एमएलए अगर कर देंगे और मुख्यमंत्री इसकी गलती मानने को भी तैयार नहीं है, इस पे अपोलोजाइज करने के लिए भी मुख्यमंत्री तैयार नहीं है, तो मैं समझता हूं कि उनको अपने पद पे रहने का कोई अधिकार ही नहीं है।
The Home Ministry is also examining the report submitted by Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal on the incident. On Tuesday, the Chief Secretary lodged a police complaint alleging that he was manhandled at Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence by AAP lawmakers. Navikram Singh's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Employees Provident Fund Organization has lowered the rate of interest on Employees Provident Fund for 2017-18. The retirement fund body has cut the interest rate to 8.55% from the 8.65% for the year 2016-17. The rate cut will impact over 5 crore subscribers for the current year. Labour Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar said that EPFO has liquidated some of its investments in the exchange-traded funds, ETFs, to bridge the gap to provide 8.55% interest this fiscal. He explained that it is higher than 7.6% provided to General Provident Fund and Public Provident Fund subscribers. After the EPFO decides on the interest rate for subscribers, it has to be then ratified by the Finance Ministry. Well, let's now get you the latest from the poll-bound states of the Northeast. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit poll-bound states of Nagaland and Meghalaya on Thursday to give a push to BJP's election campaign in the northeastern states. Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to address a rally in Tyongsang district of Nagaland, about 360 kilometers from the capital, Kohima. From here, the Prime Minister will go to Meghalaya to address a rally in Fulbari in West Garo Hills district. Voting for both Nagaland and Meghalaya will take place on the 27th of February. The results will be declared on the 3rd of March. Meanwhile, BJP bigwigs are campaigning for their candidates in Meghalaya. Union Tourism Minister KJ Alphonse was in the state and said that the schemes of the central government have not been implemented properly. He also attacked the ruling Congress, saying that people in the state are fed up with the party. Our correspondent Ravindra Sharon caught up with the minister. Let's listen into what he had to say.
I think it's a fantastic response because people are completely fed up with the Chief Minister Mukul Sangma and the Congress. Mukul Sangma has been in power. He's been the Chief Minister for the past 10 years. And the Congress has been in power for the past 16 years continuously. And of course, out of the 45 years of the state of Meghalaya, 40 years they've been in power. There are no schools. There are no hospitals, there are no doctors, there are no teachers, there is no drinking water, there is no electricity, and of course there are no roads other than the national highway. I think they have just looted the state. Bulk of the money which the state spends comes from the centre, and all this money which is given by the centre is not reaching the people, it's just being looted.
If the BJP comes to power, what kind of agenda do you have to give employment to the people in tourism sector? How to promote the tourism?
See, I would call Meghalaya God's own paradise. It's just not a Scotland in the east or something. It's just incredibly beautiful. We need to create the necessary infrastructure for tourism in terms of road connectivity, stable electricity, safe drinking water. Then, of course, a whole lot of hotels and restaurants. Whole supporting stuff must come up here. See, without these, how would tourists come here? I mean, there is nothing, absolutely nothing. So we just need to pay our attention. I've been coming here for past five months, and I already sanctioned them quite a bit of money here for tourism. But we need to do a lot more. And if the state government wants, I mean, the whole question of whether they want or whether they have the commitment. If they have the commitment, so much could be done in Meghalaya.
Meanwhile, on the second day of his visit to Meghalaya, Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday held a massive roadshow in Shillong ahead of the assembly polls. Stating that the Congress stands for the people of the region, Rahul said the party would defeat the BJP in Meghalaya. The Congress chief also targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi over his silence on the multi-crore PNB bank scam. During the roadshow, Rahul Gandhi also got down from his vehicle and interacted with thousands of people who were waiting to catch a glimpse of him. The Congress chief later addressed rallies at Kindelad and the main business hub of the Hilltown and Chatbaku football ground in Jowai. The state goes to polls on February 27th.
Opponents feel that there are certain ideas in India that should rule over all other ideas. And they believe that the central idea should dominate all other ideas, all other cultures, all other languages, all other religions. And this is really our fight with them.
Well, the countdown to the assembly elections are on in Nagaland and campaigning is on in full force. Even after 54 years of statehood and 12 assembly elections, Nagaland is yet to see any woman representative in the assembly. This time, 5 women are in the fray from different political parties. Interestingly, the freedom that the women of Nagaland have in society hasn't reflected in its politics. Panchanan Mishra brings us this special report.
Kohima, the capital of Nagaland, where women are empowered. They get to participate equally in the social structure, contribute to the economy, and also have the freedom to choose their own life partner. Ironically, there is no place for them in politics. That is probably the reason why Nagaland Assembly has not seen any representation by women. Women rights activists say patriarchy is the norm in the state.
Basically, Naga society is much more patriarchal than even other patriarchal societies. It is a very strong patriarchal society. And I think a lot of this culture and tradition which we have percolates down also to the political space, where women actually do not become a part of the decision-making bodies, traditional. If you look at the tribal ho-hos, if you look at the village councils, you don't find women, very few. And therefore, even in politics, they may be strong supporters, they may be active in politics, but very often at the highest decision-making body, you'll hardly find women being made members of these kind of bodies, you know.
This year, there are 5 women in the fray out of a total of 195 candidates. Wideo Krono and Mangyang Pula are contesting on the National People's Party tickets from Dimapur 3 and Noksen Assembly constituencies. Rakhila is a BJP nominee from Tunsang Sadar 2 seat. Awan Konyak of the newly formed Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party is fighting the election from Aboi seat. And Rekha Rose Dukru is an independent candidate from Chizami constituency. The ruling Naga People's Front, however, has not fielded any women candidate this time.
It is nothing personal about this particular not giving NPF ticket. It's all about the people. We are working for the people only. I mean, the people only, they approach and then they, they tell the candidate that you can, we support you, and why don't you lead us in this particular election? So basing on that only, and then the strength of the people also, it matters. So basing on that only, we have gone with that only.
Nagaland has held assembly elections since it came into existence in 1963. But not a single woman has ever been elected to the 60-member House. Only once in 1977 has a woman politician ever emerged victorious in an election, when Rano M. Shaiza became a member of parliament on a United Democratic Party ticket and got elected to the Lok Sabha.
People think that we are really free. Yes, of course, to some extent we are really free. But I feel Naga women are still being kept in 4 walls, especially when it comes to leadership. When a woman stands out for herself, she's always voiced down, like her voice is being controlled again. So I feel it's still very minimal. We need to improve on that thing.
To elect women, and we women, I think the state government needs to do something so that they can have some kind of seats for women where women can come up, so that they can encourage women to come up, and then these women can maybe bring about some new ideas and changes in our society.
The uphill task into politics for women can be gauged by the violence that broke out in the state early last year, when the state government looked to implement 33% reservation for women in urban body polls. Protesters, led by tribal groups and even civil society organizations, said this was a violation of Article 371A that protects Naga customary law. In the violence that ensued, 2 people were killed in Dimapur. Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang of the NPF had to resign and buildings in Kohima were set on fire. Women candidates who had filed their nominations were forced to withdraw.
Women have been given equal importance in the society of Nagaland. But when there is a case of entry into politics, then the society is not ready to give this equality to women of Nagaland. But it has to be seen that this time, out of 195, these 5 women candidates can break this jinx or not. In Kohima with Raj Thakur, this is Panchanan Mishra for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, moving on from politics, now India and Bhutan are celebrating the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations, and the Bhutanese foreign minister is in India to be a part of the celebrations. He also held talks with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj to outline the future trajectory of the bilateral relations in an increasingly changing international scenario. India and Bhutan are celebrating the golden jubilee year of their diplomatic relations. At a meeting between foreign ministers of the two countries, Sushma Swaraj and Linpo Damcho Dorji, a series of programs were planned to showcase the special relationship that both nations share. Swaraj assured all help required for security and development of Bhutan.
Because it is a year for India-Bhutan partnership, as we celebrate the accomplishments of the last 5 decades of our time-tested and special ties. It is also an opportunity for us to reflect on how well we could advance this unique partnership, to respond to hopes and aspirations of our two peoples, of our common prosperity and a better future.
A celebration was also organized at the Royal Bhutan Embassy on Wednesday to commemorate the occasion. The Bhutanese foreign minister said he expects India to continue its support to the Buddhist nation.
Our relations are a good model where two neighboring countries of great asymmetries can exist in perfect harmony and friendship. Today, as I join my fellow Bhutanese to offer our prayers for the good health and long life of His Majesty the King, we feel confident that under the wise guidance of His Majesty the King and the leadership in India, the special relations between India and Bhutan will grow from strength to strength and flourish forever.
The foreign ministers also released a commemorative stamp to showcase the special relationship. They also awarded Bhutanese students studying in India. Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj also sent birthday greetings to the King of Bhutan on his 38th birthday by cutting a cake.
India and Bhutan have a special relationship, and it is a model of a relationship between two neighbors. India has always helped Bhutan in its prosperity and peace, and Bhutan has always been faithful and friendly to India. But some outside interference are trying to come, not only on the borders, but also inside Bhutan. Now it will be up to Bhutan and India how they will manage these external forces and keep the relationship flourishing for the future. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Kawaljit in Delhi.
Well, on day 4 of his week-long visit to India, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his family arrived in Amritsar on Wednesday. They were received at the airport by Union Minister Hardeep Puri and Punjab Minister Navjot Singh Sidhu. They then offered prayers at the Golden Temple. Clad in traditional Indian attire, the Trudeau family also attended the langar and performed seva at the temple's community kitchen. The Canadian Prime Minister and his family were given a robe of honour inside the Golden Temple. Justin Trudeau also met Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh. The Khalistan issue featured prominently during the 40-minute-long meeting. The Punjab Chief Minister handed over to the Canadian Prime Minister a list of 9 Canada-based operatives allegedly involved in promoting radicalism in Punjab. Moving on now, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that innovative blending of heritage restoration, environment protection and employment creation is the best way forward. Addressing a gathering after inaugurating the Sundar Nursery Park in New Delhi, Vice President Naidu said that Sundar Nursery is an excellent example of public-private partnership in an urban development project. He said that this project is in line with the government's focus on cleanliness and will also lead to improving the quality of lives of the people. Sundar Nursery was established over 100 years ago and has been revamped by the Aga Khan Trust for Culture in collaboration with the CPWD, Archaeological Survey of India and the South Delhi Municipal Corporation to create a 90-acre city park. Speaking about the restoration of the park, the Vice President said that by preserving the past, we are laying a foundation for a great sustainable future.
The initiative has fully met its three objectives of conservation of Humayun's tomb and its adjacent monuments, improving the quality of life for the citizens, and the development of Sundar Nursery into a world-class park. I am certain that interpretation of center at the Humayun tomb complex will soon be completed and will be yet another milestone in the success story of the project. It demonstrates the promising pathways for the future projects of restoration of the historical monuments.
Well, Prince Karim Aga Khan IV, the Imam of Nizari Ismailism, a denomination of Ismailism within Shia Muslim, met with Vice President Venkaiah Naidu in New Delhi. The meeting was held in Hyderabad House. Prince Aga Khan is on a 10-day visit to India on the invitation of the government. The Aga Khan Trust is undertaking several developmental projects in India. Well, here's a look at some more news from across the country and nationwide. Supreme Court on Wednesday allowed the centre to withdraw the remaining 4 companies of Central Armed Police Forces from West Bengal's violence-hit Darjeeling area after March 8th. The Apex Court also set aside the Calcutta High Court order that had restrained the centre from withdrawing CAPF from the state's hill regions on the ground that normalcy had not returned. BJP MLA Lokendra Singh, who was on his way to attend the UP Investors Summit in Lucknow, was killed along with 3 others in Kamlapur area in Sitapur. The accident reportedly took place when the MLA's driver lost control of the vehicle, which crossed over to the other side of the divider and collided head-on with a truck. Actor Kamal Haasan has said that there was no politics involved in his visit to the late APJ Abdul Kalam's residence in Rameshwaram on Wednesday, nor his proposed visit to a school which did not fructify as the administration denied him the permission. Haasan visited Kalam's house and sought blessings of the former president's elder brother before the actor launched his political party Makkal Needi Mayam. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this newscast. Good night.